What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and I'm actually really curious to see how well Ash can do in some game modes now that he's been buffed up a little bit. You know, they gave him super armor on his second skill, they gave him a reset on his third skill, they increased his core pass to where now whenever he's attacking, he always has an increased attack base of his defense all the way up. And then of course he actually gets super armor from darkness, which isn't going to matter in what we're going to do today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to jump into guild raid here, and we're going to see how well this guy can actually perform in guild raid. We're just going to go ahead and use his own leadership, and we're going to be playing on hard because he does have burn, and Rugal is weak to burn. I'm just curious to see how well he's going to do. I know he's not going to be replacing, you know, characters like Leona and Kyo. I mean, it's just not going to happen, guys. He's not going to be stronger than SS and BS characters, but how well can he perform? Now, my face is in the way, but I actually am using Mukai as a striker because Mukai does offer, if this thing ever loads up, come on, today. Because Mukai does decrease his skill cooldown by 0.5 seconds and does increase his power charge rate and increase the attack of 15% of defense. So pretty good little striker bonus for Ash. Now, as far as my Ash, you know, he doesn't have the greatest build. I mean, he's got 64,000 CP. His attack's at 50,000. Nothing really major. He has no imprint stones. I never needed to put imprint stones on this character. I mean, the beautiful thing about Ash is he is a green defensive fighter, and you do need a green defensive team for past tier 40 in reviving Hell's Dungeon, right? So that is something that's really nice for him. He's a really great leadership for those characters, and you know, unfortunately, just compared to SS and BS characters, I just don't think he's going to be, you know, he's just not going to be on that same tier. But how well can he do? Now, I am cheating a little bit because I don't have any imprint stones on this character. I am using the Athena set, and it's all buffed up. There's a bunch of defensive stats that buff up your burn damage for defensive characters on these transcended cards. So the Athena set, not only is he going to be getting, you know, all the buffs from the Athena set, all the increased defenses, but he's also getting the increased defense, TIE Fighter defense, about 5.8%. And with his core effect, that's actually going to give him a lot more attack. You know, for this second one here, it actually increased defense type penetration by 5.8%. So he gets a little extra penetration. And then for the third one here, this one here actually increases defense, TIE Fighter defense by 5.8%. So he's getting an extra 11% increases to his defenses. That's really going to help with his core effect. Now, the option card here does, you know, 50% chance to increase attack by 30% for 5 seconds upon landing a strike skill. And it is on 15-second cooldown, but Ash does have multiple strike skills in his kit, so it's actually a really good card for him. And then this cooldown card actually does give him an increase to his defense TIE Fighter critical rate, right? It gives him an extra critical rate, which is really, really nice. His 5 PGs are not transcendent. I'm not going to transcend them because, again, this is a character that, you know, I mean, if you have SS and BS characters, you're probably not going to use them very much other than maybe RHG, maybe a leadership against Immortal Victor, maybe a leadership against some of the other Immortal Dungeons, which we're going to test today. We're going to see how good his survivability is, especially considering the heals that he has on a second and third skill. And the thing that always held, and he does have max capsules, but a thing that always held Ash back was, one, his damage wasn't really good enough, and the fact that he never had super armor. Well, now he does. Now he does have super armor, right? So let's see how well he can actually perform. Let's check this out. Again, you know, I don't have any imprint stones. My fame system isn't leveled up for green fighters at all. So keep that in mind when you're watching this, but let's see. All right. So I'm just going to use that 2 first. Use the third skill. Now he builds up his PG super fast. I tried dodging, but okay. Well, not bad, not bad. Now, his 5 PG will not get interrupted. We're just going to go ahead and do his 5 PG. This thing won't get interrupted, at least it didn't from the testing I did earlier. Watch, it probably will now. But I don't think so. Nah, he's got a hold over Rugal. Now Rugal's going to blow up on us. So, as you guys can see, even with the Athena set and having all these extra increase to our defenses, we're not really putting out the damage that we want to, right? Come on, come on, come on. Get away, get away, get away, get away. There we go. The damage just really isn't that good, right? And that kind of sucks, man. I think that Net Marble should have gave him a little bit more attack buffs. In all honesty, I mean, I realize I don't have imprint stones on him, but you know, this is a level 50 character. I kind of would have expected a little bit more. Whoops. Now let's see how fast he's breaking that meter down. I mean, you know, the green flames they're just not quite as hot as you'd really want them to be, right? And you kind of want a little bit more burn than that. There we go, there we go. While we got some burn applied. So it doesn't look like Guild Raid's going to be a very good place for him. Oh boy. Get away, get away. I mean, 69,000. That's pretty pitiful, honestly. That's not very good. Oh, it's not very good. We're not doing really great here. Woo-wee. Yeah, I mean, I think we get the drift, right? We got 73 million right now. Terrible. Not very good at all, my friends. So definitely not a character you're going to use in Guild Raid. I mean, even at level 50, I mean, he might not have imprint stones on him, but with that Athena set, I really would have expected a little bit more than that. I mean, at least 200, right? At least 200 million. But yeah, not a very good showing for him in Guild Raid. So let's take him into the Immortal Dungeons and see how well he can actually perform there, because that's where I feel like he's going to shine quite a bit more, especially because of his leadership and the fact that he just has an insane amount of heals, right? He should have some really good survivability. Now, something to keep in mind is that the Athena set does have a decreased damage received on it. So whenever you get down to a certain amount of HP, let's click on here, I can't remember what it was. Whenever you get down to 20% HP, you do get a decreased damage received by 60%. So this is actually, you know, really going to help him a lot as far as survivability. So keep in mind, you know, all of his life, from max life all the way down to the 20%, he won't have that decreased damage received. And you can watch how much damage he's actually taking throughout the fight. We'll just go ahead and use Guinness here. And then we're going to go ahead and use Zero here. We just got a Chaos set on him, just level 1, right? Just to see how well Ash can actually do. And really the most important thing that we're looking at here is his survivability. How long can he stay alive, right? Now, the bad thing about Ash is his 5PG does a grab. So against the Immortal Dungeons, it's going to get interrupted. However, his default doesn't, right? His default won't get interrupted. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play Guinness, right? I'm just going to let Ash play on his own, on semi-auto, to see how good his survivability is actually going to be. Because Guinness here, against this bastard, will die very, very quickly if I'm not playing him manually. Guinness has no decreased damage received. He's got hyper armor, but he has no decreased damage received at all on him. So if he gets hit by that guy, if Immortal Rock dashes at him, he's pretty much dead. There we go. And I am using this 3PG, right? Get him, get him, get him. Now you see that Ash is healing up right there, which is really nice. There we go. Guinness is completely missing his attacks here. Completely missing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and guard. Okay, I want to watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. There we go. That pecker. There we go, there we go. Cool beans, my friends, cool beans. This is really where I feel like Ash is really going to shine. This really is a pretty good score considering that... Oh, thanks for the Twitter message there. This is really a pretty decent score considering that, you know, I'm using one level 10 character, right? I got a level 50 character, but he doesn't have any imprint stones on him at all, but it's not the greatest. I mean, Guinness is really the one putting in all the work. Ooh, we took a lot of damage there. Okay. And as you guys can see, Ash, you know, he hasn't gotten down to that 20% HP yet. He's still surviving, right? I mean, this Immortal Dungeon is the hardest one of them all, in my opinion. I mean, this guy hits super hard. Now, Zero ended up biting it there. He ended up biting it. But not bad. I mean, so... Ash can survive, right? His survivability is pretty decent. Now, remember at level 50, he's going to have more HP than normal. But I mean, if you had some HP stones from Immortal Dungeons, that's probably the way that I would build him, because the more HP that he has, the more of a heal that he's actually going to get from his second and third skill, right? So you might be better off just to build this character where you're using like HP stones on him, because I think really... For him, he's going to shine the most in Immortal Dungeons, mainly because of his leadership, but also because of these heals, right? You know, the increased HP recovery by 50% for 7 seconds, recover HP by 1% every 1 second for 5 seconds, and the more HP he has, the more of a heal he's actually going to get. So I would probably be slapping some HP stones on this character in order for him to survive. Let's see if I can find any here. No, these are all attack. I think most of mine are going to be attack because I've pretty much gotten rid of all my HP stones. Yeah, we don't have any HP stones. These are all attack, unfortunately. But whenever that first stat says, this first stat says HP, the ones that you get from Immortal Dungeon, those are going to be the ones that you're actually going to want to run with, I believe, for Ash, you know, to get the most out of the character. Because, you know, if you put a bunch of attack stones on him, that's fine. He'll do more damage. And if you want to make him as strong as possible, that's the way you should go. But I think if you want to help his survivability and help him last the test of time throughout those fights, I mean, if you're using that leadership with other green fighters that have really long 3PGs, it's going to be really nice, honestly. It's going to be really, really good. And his default isn't the longest, but unfortunately, you know, I think Ash, I mean, really what they've done for the kit is really more of a PvP thing than it is PvE, right? That's really the thing about what they've done for Ash. He's better for PvP than what he was. He was a lot better in KOF Original Week. But I think, and he's going to be a lot better for the Immortal Dungeons because now he doesn't get interrupted with the super armor on his second skill. And he's always had those heals, so he's always had pretty decent survivability. But now because he doesn't get interrupted, he's just a lot better for it. Not to mention, you know, that his core passive that has his attack based on defenses is always up when he's attacking, does give him a little bit more damage. But honestly, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more for him. I mean, that was pretty pitiful. Honestly, what he was doing in Guild Raid, that was not a very good score at all. But at least now in PvE content, he will be easier to play. He's going to be better for the Immortal Dungeon. So let me know how you're all feeling about Ash and what would you like to see for this character's rework. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.